Welcome to Winging It. We're doing deck upgrading today in Arkham Horror the card game. This is Silas and Amanda going through the Innsmouth Conspiracy campaign. They're going into the second scenario, which is called The Vanishing of Elina Harper. So we're going to be searching for her. We have 6 XP to spend, so we're going to start with Amanda. And the obvious first upgrade for 3 of her XP is to go ahead and upgrade the Dream Diary into the Dreams of a Child. We solved this before, so we can do this. And this will give her a free trigger when your turn begins. Search your body cards for the essence of the dream and add it to your hand. So you don't have to take an action. This happens at the beginning of her turn, so she can't put it under her the turn she gets it. But she can either hold on to it and it goes under her next turn, and then she gets, a really strong boost for the next turn. Or maybe she just commits it to a test. Now, this one is the one that gives her extra icons if she has 8 cards in her hand, which isn't too hard for her to do, as we saw with the Dream Enhancing Serum. So very often this could be 4 icons she just sticks under her for a turn, which gives her, a really powerful turn. But the other thing that this does is it just is always giving her cards, so she's not... once she gets this out, it's not really... it's not taxing her too hard in terms of running out of cards. She always kind of has this to fall back onto, even if it's only the 2 icons. So for this, of course, we're replacing the level 0 version of the Dream Diary. And then we have 3 more XP to spend. Now, this is a taboo campaign, and the latest taboo list just came out and added Pathfinder from 1 XP up to 3 XP. So I'm going to be spending 3 XP to grab a copy of Pathfinder. And I think this card is really important with her. It gives you, it's an asset that goes on the table, and then it gives you a free trigger during your turn. If you're not engaged with an enemy, you can exhaust it and move to a connecting location. This is really good because she wants to take tests. She wants to use those cards that are under her. If she can get 3 tests in every turn, she wants to be able to do it. And not having to waste a turn moving is really good. So I actually was originally going to take the upgraded Grizzly Totem, which she really wants. And of course, I really want to take the Time Worn Brand. I've got all these things I want to get. But the next scenario, speed, is really important, and it's a big map, so I decided to go ahead and take the Pathfinder. For this, I'm going to get rid of the magnifying glass, which might sound strange, but I've only got 2 hand slots, and I've got a knife in one, and I think that combat boost is helpful for when she wants to fight. It gives her, with the overpowers, that gets her fighting at a 5, and that's really a lot better than fighting at a 4, and of course helps her make use of the vicious blows as well. So, there was a lot of times in that first scenario that having the knife out really, made her test go from marginal with the fight to actually something that was useful for her to do. So we're keeping the knife, getting rid of the magnifying glass. I think with the Dream Diary, she shouldn't have any trouble boosting her intellect as necessary. So anyway, that's where we're at. Let's go take a look at Silas. Now with Silas, my traditional upgrade has usually been just buy a Time Worn Brand. There's a few things that change that now. One is that I think the plan is ultimately to just replace this Derringer, which is really not fantastic for what I'm doing with him. It's just kind of a placeholder weapon. I'm going to replace that with a chainsaw because it's 3 damage and it's a chainsaw and it's a lot of fun. But the other thing is, since I'm playing flexible, since Amanda can do damage, I'm going to be prioritizing more well-rounded kind of upgrades. And for this, I'm going to actually be really going hard on his ally situation. So right now we have Granny Orne and we have Peter Sylvester, and I'd like to be able to have both of them out in play. Then he just never dies from horror, right? He's got a good horror soaks. He gets the willpower and agility boost, and he can fail by less with Granny Orne. So he has 6 XP to spend. That first 3 XP we're going to spend is just going to be on a charisma, so he can have both Granny Orne and Peter Sylvester out at once. And then the plan will be to focus on getting both of them upgraded, as quickly as possible. So for this, I'm going to add a second copy of Granny Orne, but of course this is the upgraded version, which gives him an intellect boost. It's going to make him better at investigating. Along with her ability now is not just fail less, but you can actually give somebody +1 to a skill value, which lets everybody in the group, if you're nearby, to or at the same location, to test without having to go up quite as high. And that's just really good value. So I'm going to, for this, take out the leather coat, which is kind of a ridiculous ad to begin with. I probably was never going to use it. I guess I was just a little bit, there's so much unavoidable damage that comes out in that first scenario. I just thought I might need it. But it's a pretty easy ad to take that out to put her in. Now, if I get out the level 0 version, it's going to be frustrating because I can't play the level 3 version over her. I'd have to kill her off and then play her again. So we'll see. But I still like having, the option. If I'm going to take the charisma, I'd like to be able to get, 2 allies into play. I do have regrets about this build, and the biggest regret is only taking 1 copy of Track Shoes, which I got out early and it was fantastic. And now that I'm realizing how big this next map is, I would really like to be able to get Track Shoes out quickly. And, the potential of not having that is a little bit, makes me a little bit concerned for the next scenario. I would like to be able to have the Track Shoes, out and have another. It may be something that if we continue to have big maps in this campaign, that I might actually just spend an XP to put another copy of Track Shoes in. We'll see how it goes, but that is one of my regrets. But either way, with 6 XP, we got the Charisma, we got the Granny Orn. We should be in good shape. And then the priority after that is going to be to upgrade the other Granny Orn and upgrade my Peter Sylvesters. And if I get them all into play, he'll have a whopping 4 willpower and 3 intellect and 5 agility, which will be just a great stat line to do wonderful things. So that's where we're at. Let's go play The Vanishing of Elina Harper.